Dr. Whitey Thurgood, the pastor of this great church, the New Jerusalem Church of God in Christ, the Holy Church. And also we stand united with 95.7 R&B. Give them a hand. We all stand together to sponsor this summit, Stop Now What? With the recent and past tragic events that have transpired between citizens of our United States and our law enforcement units, it was placed upon Dr. Thurgood's heart to build a social platform to examine both sides of the spectrum and to create answers and solutions that will help us all in the future. We believe that the church should be a pillar that promotes unity, understanding, and peace in the surrounding community. With that being said, the purpose of today is to build a bridge between our respective communities and the individuals who serve them so that we can all better understand each other. When we leave here today, we hope that you, the citizens and law enforcement, will both feel better protected and respected. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce the facilitator for this morning. He's the host of the 95.7 R&B evening weekday show from 7 p.m. until midnight. And he is also known in his various communities for the FEED program, which means Feed Everyone Every Day. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our facilitator for the morning, 95.7 R&B personality, Mr. Bob Thomas. Give him a hand.
Good morning. Good morning. I saw that light flash. I was like, what's going on? Okay. How you guys doing this morning? You don't sound like it. Are you okay? Is it too early for you? It's almost too early for me. I'll be honest with you, but we're here to take care of some business. You know, we're quick to march, but when it's time to sit down and be proactive and work out solutions, we're slow. So we're small in number in here right now. However, when you leave here, because you're going to get some good information from these officers, when you leave here, you make sure you share it with other individuals, especially our youth. They really, really need to know exactly what to do when stopped. All this screaming and acting all crazy and I know my rights. Now what's happening? Here's something that now, I gotta admit, I've never had any problem anytime I've been pulled over. Thank God it hasn't been that many, but never a problem because my dad instilled in me one thing. He said, always remember this, when you get pulled over, first and foremost, they wanna go home. Keep in mind, police officers wanna go home that evening. Also, I want to go home. So what you do is just act like you got some sense. Just speak intelligently. That's all. You don't have to kowtow. You don't have to politic. I got to remember I'm in church now. You know, but just conduct yourself accordingly. Because the most important thing is you want to get this over with and get on about your business. Now, the funny thing is, whenever we're stopped, y'all know what happens. You get that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. It's like, oh, Lord. But see, my thing is not that I'm afraid that something's going to happen to me. I get that feeling because, man, they're going to give me a ticket. I don't have the money to pay for all this stuff. I got to do other things with my money and stuff. So that's my stinking feeling. Hopefully, that's the same kind of feeling that we all should get. That it's the ticket. It's not that I'm going to get hurt, abused, drugged, or anything else like that. But we're going to find out today from those that stop us exactly what we should do. Now, gentlemen, if you would, and ladies, if you would, what we're going to do, introduce yourselves. Tell us what city you represent, who you are, your rank. Wow, is that the full bird? Okay, we're going to see you have the microphone right here in the middle. If we can, let's start on this end. Yeah, start on this end and we'll go straight down. Your name, your city you represent.
No? All right. they decided to go to the oldest guy first. Jim Severa, I'm the Chief of Police in Virginia Beach. I also have another function up at the Convention Center at 11 o'clock, so if I scoot out at 11, please understand we have another function going on there. But I'm very proud to be here, proud of our organization, and I'm glad we're able to have, I love some of the questions. I personally want to take question number 2.
Good morning, I'm Kenny Miller. I'm a captain with the City of Virginia Beach Police Department. I'm the night command duty officer.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Sean Adams. I'm the CO of the 2nd Precinct. I've had the opportunity to meet many of you, interact with many of you during Civic League meetings and other functions. I look forward to this opportunity to be with you this morning and answer as many questions as we can, and hopefully leave here with both sides learning something very valuable. Thank you.
I'm Corporal Ollie Williams with the Norfolk Police Department, with the Community Affairs section. Been in the department now for 15 years, and I too hope that we will definitely come with some things that both sides can get information to further the betterment of our relationship.
Good morning, my name is Officer Bennett. I'm an 11-year veteran of the Norfolk Police Department. I'm currently an SRO in Taylor Middle School.
Good morning, Master Police Officer Andre Jerry, now with the 1st Precinct Property Crime Detective Unit, Virginia Beach, going on 10 years.
Good morning, I'm Doug Draper with the Chesapeake Police Department. I've been on for a little over 30 years. I'm a captain at the 3rd Precinct in the Deep Creek section of Chesapeake.
Okay, great. Let me explain to you too, if you see me leaning and doing all this kind of stuff, I had back surgery, so Lord bless them. Bless them, yes. All right, let's do this. Decided to take your cane, Pastor. Okay, I want you to know too that if you have questions, no problem. If you have a question, we'll go to you in turn. Okay, you will get to answer your questions. Just understand that we have a time limit for your questions. But if you have a question, please, you don't have to wait to the end of the program to ask it. We want questions from you, as a matter of fact, because they want to answer your questions. So let's get started. First and foremost, to any of the panel, what advice do you give someone who feels like being respectful to officers is a one-way street? In other words, no matter how mannerable a person is, they still feel like some officers treat them inhumanely. Anybody?
Well, every time I get an opportunity, I always tell people that, police officers are regular people like everybody else. And then I'll go into the question, I'll ask them, what do they do? And then I ask them, I bet you they know people on their job who they think, man, they really shouldn't have that job. Well, it's the same with, unfortunately, it's the same with officers too. We're human. There are probably some people that shouldn't wear this badge. So you have to treat every situation, every person differently, and treat it like it's a brand new situation. In our musters, our supervisor always, preaching on how we treat people, because you don't want to treat someone bad and leave it for the next officer. So, it works both ways for the citizens too. You don't want to treat the officer like trash, and then, he might be thinking everyone's going to treat him the same way. So, you just got to treat every situation separately. You got to treat each person separately. And just because you have a bad encounter with an officer, and vice versa, just because we have a bad encounter with a citizen, we can't take the mindset that everyone's the same, everyone's going to continue to be the same. You just got to be open-minded, on both sides of the law.
The thing that I would like to add is, in any encounter with an officer, especially at a traffic stop, one of the things that we like to share with folks is the officer does not know what he or she is getting into. There have been multiple situations around the country where traffic stops have escalated to deadly force. And our officers are trained to observe behaviors. Obviously, something attracted the officer to pull the vehicle over, either an equipment violation or moving violation. So the officer does not know what he or she is walking up to. However, we have strict training and policies in place that walk our officers through how to properly conduct a traffic stop. Now, sometimes the citizen hadn't read the same policy, and we understand that. So sometimes things at a traffic stop don't always go as planned. And when folks are agitated for whatever their personal situation is, or being nervous, as our moderator has explained about being pulled over, sometimes emotions take control of the situation. And it's important for both officers and the citizen to understand it's a traffic stop. It can remain a traffic stop. It should remain a traffic stop unless other behaviors rise or escalate the situation.
Okay, in any encounter, at the end of the encounter, the feelings are never, ever, ever the same. You can't leave an encounter with someone as it being neutral. You either think about a person from a posture of A or from a posture of B. And what we're trying to do with our officers is we recognize that it's not 1975 anymore, or it's when the chief came on, but it's not 1980 when I came on. There's a lot more citizen interaction. I venture to say there's more than over, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of officers throughout the country. There's 18,000 police departments in this country. And there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of stops every single day in this country. And yet we focus more so on the mistakes that are made in the minuscule number of stops. What I offer to you, or what I suggest to you, is to do what I tell my daughters. And I used to have Frank Sinatra channel in my XM radio in the car, and she would turn from rap, and she drove my car from rap to, she got stopped, she goes, Frank Sinatra, you can't get no ticket if you're playing Frank Sinatra. Oh, Blue Eyes won't get a ticket. If you're playing, Lil Wayne, you might get. No, I'm just joking. I'm just trying to lighten up a little bit. What I'm saying is that the encounter is two ways. And to have a successful encounter on the part of the officer, he or she has to behave a certain way. And to have a successful encounter on the part of the person being stopped, he or she must behave in a certain way. And it's that behavior that in some instances, a lot of instances, determine the outcome. I'll be right back.